Live in high definition from the CBS 4 studios. This is CBS 4 at 5:30.
Fire and fury. This man accused of trying to set his own mother on fire. The simple request that she made that detectives say sent her son into a rage.
The hunt for an arsonist, the new step investigators are taking to find the person who torched a home in Sunland Park, killing a little girl. Plus,
why is it that there's only one paramedic for this entire region?
Demanding answers, the cause of death for a 7-year-old Guatemalan girl who died in federal custody. Members of Congress are calling for a review of the resources available to Border Patrol agents to help save more lives on the border.
That's after a Guatemalan immigrant, Jacqueline Call, died here in El Paso while in federal custody. CBS 4 530's Claudia Tristan spoke with lawmakers today after they toured the facilities where Jacqueline was held right before her death.
We're standing right now at the U.S. Border Patrol station in Lordsburg, New Mexico. Now, this is where Jacqueline Cal, the 7-year-old immigrant, was airlifted to a hospital in El Paso. Now, several of the members of Congress who toured the facility today say that what they noticed was a lack of resources.
El Paso Congressman Will Hurd is voicing his disapproval for children housed at the Tornillo tent facility. Today, he composed several tweets. Hurd saying the federal government has no plans for more than 2,800 kids housed at the facility once its contract ends on New Year's Eve. The temporary shelter at Tornillo was set up over the summer for minors who crossed the border unaccompanied. When it first became open, it was supposed to house a few hundred teens between the ages of 13 and 17. But as we reported on Sunday, the shelter continues to grow. Hurd ending his series of tweets saying, quote, "We are America. We are better than this."
President Trump may be open now to a compromise in order to avoid a partial government shutdown. The president is still insisting on $5 billion to help build a border wall. But now White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders says the administration has begun looking for other ways to fund that wall. Democrats have said all along they're not willing to go more than $1.6 billion for increased border security.
We've laid out clearly what our parameters are with members of Congress. We want to know what they can pass.
The deadline to get a funding bill signed into law is Friday night at midnight Eastern Time. Without a deal, 420,000 federal employees would have to work through the holidays without pay, and another 380,000 could be furloughed.
Happening now, firefighters are keeping an eye out for any hot spots to flare up following a fire at a northeast El Paso business. Crews were sent to Dyer near Loop 375 around 3 this afternoon. Firefighters found a storage shed in the back of the property on fire. They were able to keep the fire from spreading. Investigators have not yet said how that fire started. And tonight, a reward is being offered in the case of an arson fire that killed a little girl and critically injured 2 other children. It happened early Thursday morning in Sunland Park. The fire gutted the double-wide mobile home. Inside, investigators found the remains of 8-year-old Marisa Munoz. 2 other children had to be airlifted to the burn center in Lubbock. Investigators are now awaiting an autopsy to find out if Marisa died in the fire or if she was killed prior to it being set. If you can help detectives with this case, call Crime Stoppers at Las Cruces.
There is a stunning crime to report tonight out of Doña Ana County. A man there under arrest charged with beating up his wheelchair-bound mother and trying to set her on fire. Deputies arrested 27-year-old Johnny Jimenez Monday. Detectives say he became upset with his mother after she, quote, looked at him like he was stupid. Detectives say Jimenez got mad at his mom after she asked him to help cook dinner to celebrate her 63rd birthday. Jimenez is accused of slamming her head against a washing machine, causing her to fall on the floor. Deputies say he then poured kerosene on her and tried several times, unsuccessfully, to set her on fire. It was actually Jimenez's sister who found the victim when she stopped by to give her mom a birthday card. Tonight, Jimenez is being held without bond.
CBS 4 On Your Side now has a copy of the city manager's new contract. It shows he will receive a new health benefit, even though the mayor said he would not. The contract now contains $2,500 a year for the hotel and travel to Dallas for doctor's appointments. That perk wasn't in his previous contracts. CBS 4 On Your Side is also learning the city manager may receive $60,000 in reimbursement for legal fees, something that was removed from the contract when it was discussed last week. Meantime, the city will also discuss a punishment for city employees who leak information about the city.
That's the reason why I put it on there, because I do believe in transparency.
Personnel issues should be kept a little less public until it's all been decided.
Now, council has instructed the city attorney to look at their options for punishing employees who leak city information. Council will revisit the reimbursements for the city manager's legal fees on Thursday.
This just in, El Paso police are renewing their efforts to find a missing 78-year-old man. Man Ki Kim was last seen on December 8th when he was dropped off at the library downtown. Investigators tell police they have not seen him now for several days. The department's Crimes Against Persons unit has been called in to investigate. Straight ahead, some improvements are on the way.
All the changes that will soon be made to one of El Paso's busiest streets. And remain vigilant. The food item one company is now warning you to throw out. Welcome back. The city has signed off on shifting nearly $800,000 towards improving pedestrian traffic along Trowbridge Drive. The money was initially earmarked for improvements to the Leona Ford Washington Rec Center and expanding the Memorial Park Library. But the city found out federal regulation did not allow the money to be spent on those two projects. So instead, it will be used to improve sidewalks along Trowbridge between Chelsea and Pershing.
Meanwhile, there is a long stretch of Gateway East you will want to avoid at all costs for the next 3 nights. El Paso electric crews are upgrading the transmission lines between Giles and Zaragoza. Portions of Gateway East will have to be closed to do that from 8 o'clock at night until 6 in the morning. Again, that happens tonight, tomorrow, and Thursday as well.
In health news, the farm linked to a positive E. coli test in romaine lettuce is now recalling more types of vegetables. In addition to romaine, Adam Brothers Farming in California is issuing a voluntary recall of red and green lettuce as well as cauliflower. None of the new produce has tested positive for E. coli and no one has gotten sick. The recalled produce was harvested between November 27th and the 30th. Now it's the holiday season.
We become their family and we try to make it as comfortable and cheerful as we can.
Oh, the surprise some of the smallest patients in El Paso received today. Next on CBS 4 at 5:30 On Your Side. Welcome back. The El Paso Hispanic Chamber of Commerce will soon open a new diversity center. The Chamber of Commerce received a $400,000 federal grant for the project. The Texas Senator John Cornyn made the announcement today. The Minority Women's Enterprise Diversity Center will assist minority women-owned businesses across the country. And Cornyn said the thriving El Paso economy will become even more vibrant with this project.
All right, Conchetta told me she's bailing on the Sun City for Christmas. She's actually going to Anchorage for how many? 3 or 4 days?
Oh,
Christmas?
You know, I've
Anything
never
for
been,
White Christmas,
and
huh?
I'm looking forward. Yep, I want to see it all.
You want to see it all? Well, we're going to get a good mix of weather over the next few
But
days.
not snow like Anchorage over here.
Well, you never know because the models are changing over the last few days and anything is possible right now. We'll get to that in your 7-day forecast. But hey, look at this. Temperatures back into the mid 60s for El Paso. Las Cruces at 65 degrees and these temperatures are about 8 to 10 degrees warmer compared to where we were at this time just 24 hours ago. So we'll warm back into the mid to upper 60s today. Lots of sunshine. That will translate to mainly clear skies tonight. Breezy winds at times out of the north and west around 10 to 15 miles per hour. Overnight lows back into the lower 40s for Las Cruces. 37 degrees, becoming clear overnight and staying breezy with that northwesterly wind. Heading out the door tomorrow morning. Plentiful sunshine. You're going to need the jackets, probably the sweaters as well, especially for the kids heading off to the bus stop. But we'll see ample sunshine with those daytime highs back into the lower half of the 60s. Your 7-day forecast calls for a big warm up. Check this out. By Sunday afternoon, we are back into the upper 60s. Overnight lows dipping down into the upper 30s. Christmas Day right now looking dry with daytime highs back into the mid 60s. Back to you.
All right, thank you. Each year, Santa Claus promises to visit all the good boys and girls at Christmas time, but you must be really something special to get a visit even before Christmas, because today, Old St. Nick showed up at Las Palmas Medical Center. He visited the babies in the NICU and with children in the pediatric unit.
When the children are sick, they come in, they actually need these kind of like, emotional boosters, to make sure that they understand that we still care for them in a different way.
Oh, well, you can see the babies were also dressed up for the occasion. They sported very festive attire as they took pictures with Santa Claus. Well, hundreds of families here in the borderland will be able to celebrate Christmas this year thanks to the Salvation Army. Now, through the charity's Angel Tree program, people donated gifts for more than 1,100 children. Our crews were there today as some of the families lined up to receive their gifts. They will also be given a box of food and a turkey to serve for Christmas dinner.
Hey, there's a new way for football fans to get to this year's Sun Bowl game. The El Paso Streetcar will be running that day. And remember, there's a drop-off location right by the stadium. Plus, there will also be 6 places all around town where you can park your car and catch a Sun Metro bus to the game. You can find all of those locations on our website, cbs4local.com.
And I'm glad they're doing that because Sun Metro last year canceled the bus rides from the east side to UTEP games. I'm glad you can at least do it at the Sun Bowl. Hey, when we come back, we'll talk about who's coming and who's going. Early signing day, some of El Paso's best football players announced where they're going to college. And that man, Tristan Cooper, is back in El Paso, played his high school football at Andrews High. Now he's at U of A. What that experience has been like next on CBS 4 Sports.
This is the Sun City Emergency Room Sports Desk.
And quickly, big news from the world of soccer today. Manchester United is making a coaching change. Manager Jose Mourinho given the boot. Man U is currently in 6th place. That is a no-no over there in the Premier League. They are 11 points, which is huge, back of the top 4. Mourinho had been with the club now for 2.5 years. No word on who will take over as manager for that team.
Okay, we have a big question for you, and this is so important to Lou and I.
What, is he a huge fan of?
No, are you a soccer fan?
If I say no, is that bad? I've actually never seen a soccer game in my life.
Yes, atta girl, perfect.
Okay. You're the best person you've ever seen. She is officially hired. Okay.
I'm a huge baseball fan.
Oh, now you just got yourself a Mercedes. Well
there
done.
We go.
All right, thank you, Lou.
All right, well, Patrick, who was in yesterday, is a huge Dolphins fan, and you may be one. After you see what's inside that dolphin costume, the surprise he pulled on 2 unsuspecting cheerleaders. That is all next on CBS 4 at 5:30. Oh, well, this is a feel-good story that we all love. A couple of high school cheerleaders are flipping head over heels this week, but not for the reason they normally do. Twins Anina and Zoe Pasco thought Monday's basketball game in Raleigh, North Carolina was just like any other game. The only thing that was slightly different was that dolphin mascot. He was a little taller and more broad in the shoulders than they remembered. And then the man inside took off his mascot head, and look at right there. There was the twins' dad, U.S. Air Force Sergeant Anthony Pasco.
As I was taking off the helmet, I saw her face go like this. And then I was like, what is he doing? And then I took it off and yeah.
Oh, I just love these stories. They make me want to cry. Sergeant Pasco is stationed in San Antonio. He got into town a day early just to surprise his daughters.
First, I thought he was red because he was emotional. I think he was just sweating. And wanted to get out of there real quick.
That was a big suit.
Never get tired of seeing those stories.
No, I love them.
They're the best ones. All right, you're the best as well. We hope you're back with us tonight at 10. We'll see you then.